I started this company 10 years ago. I come from corporate America. I spent 15 years in the pharmaceutical and beauty business in a marketing capacity. I got totally burnt out, and I decided to take a year off and discover what I wanted to do next. And I took every conceivable class you could imagine, from songwriting to how to be a private detective to knitting, and I was struggling for what would be next. And in the meantime, I had some free time, which I'm sure many of you can identify with, something you probably don't have a lot of now. And I started playing poker, which is a game I learned from my mom when I was very young. So I started playing on a recreational basis. And in the meantime, I went from working for a Fortune 500 to working for an entrepreneur in an infomercial company. So, while I had to do the same skills, I had a very different audience. And one of the key things about poker is you mix up your game based on who you're playing with. It's all about the people. And I also now had to negotiate things I never had to negotiate when I worked for a big company. And I started seeing how the skills of the poker table were helping me on a professional level. The other thing that I noticed as a woman, when you tell people that you play poker, you all of a sudden become a little bit mysterious and a little bit more interesting. So I started getting invited to a lot of networking and a lot of charity events. And I'd walk into these events, and it would be the exact opposite of this room. It would be 90 men and 5 women. And I thought to myself, this is golf all over again. Women are being excluded. This is a great networking event. It's great for professional, and you pick up some really good skills at the poker table. So I started this company 10 years ago. And what's happened in the last 3 to 4 years is we've started to include men in our programs, because men and women play poker very differently, just like they do business very differently. And as we play tonight, you're going to see some of those differences, and I'm not here to raise controversy amongst the genders. I'm here to show you what the differences are, so you can adapt your play, so to speak, based on the personalities that you're playing with. Because in reality, poker is not a card game you play with people, it's a people game you play with cards. It's all about the people, and anything else that we do. Think about your families, your work, your friends. You're navigating people constantly, and that's what you do about the poker table. We'll take a poker personality quiz to see exactly what kind of poker player you are and how that translates to you on a professional level. So the way the evening's going to run is we're going to do a couple of exercises with the cards to demonstrate some of the key poker principles. We're going to play some practice hands so you can get into the groove of the game. We're going to teach you how to play no limit Texas Hold'em tournament style. And then we're going to actually have a tournament. And in this room we have trophies for the 4 top winners and bragging rights, of course. And then we have some great prizes too. All right. And each table has an instructor. So once we start playing, you'll be able to ask all the questions you want and get into the game. All right? The one concept, the driving force behind Poker Divas, and if you walk away with one business principle this evening, I would like it to be this. And that is the importance of playing to win as opposed to avoid losing. And that is a very different mindset. And your job tonight, in order to win the tournament, is to get every chip in the room. Not just to keep the 4,000 or 5,000 chips you have in front of you. All right, so it's not only protecting what you have, it's getting other things. So what we find, particularly on a gender basis, is typically men are much more aggressive in their play. So I would encourage, since this room is dominated by women, I would encourage you to play your hands more aggressively at the right time. All right? So no limit Texas Hold'em. Your job is to make the best 5-card hand. All right? You're going to make the best 5-card hand. So in order for you to do that, you need to know what the 5-card hands are. In front of each of you, you have a little mini cheat sheet, which I'm sure many of you have kept from last year. And you also have a workbook with all this information as well. So in poker, the objective is to make the best 5-card hand, or at least make somebody think you will have the best 5-card hand, and that's where the bluffing comes in. Eights. And you have a pair of kings and a pair of jacks, who wins? The aces and eights. Now if I have a pair of aces and a pair of eights with a 9, my 5th card is a 9, and you have aces and eights with a jack, who wins? That card that determines the winner in the event of a tie is known as a kicker. There's a lot of lingo in poker. It's like another language. It's all in your book. And at least if you don't know what you're doing, you'll sound like you know what you're doing. And you know, the nice thing about poker, unlike tennis or golf where nobody will play with you if you are bad, in this game anybody will play with you if you are bad. So you just need to have the confidence to say, okay, I'm participating, which is why I'm so excited we have 20 people in the cram room. As I mentioned before, the whole concept behind this evening is the importance of playing to win as opposed to avoid losing. So I would ask everybody in this room, you had the opportunity to make the best hand every time, why you didn't. And it's a mindset of completing a task versus mastering or winning the task. And there's sometimes a gender discrepancy in this too. I don't know, it's interesting to see around the room. There really wasn't tonight, but you often see that the gender disparity, I should say, here too. So with that in mind, I will give you another opportunity to play to win, and I would ask that everybody make a full house. Look left and look right and see who the winner is. A full house. Remember what that is? 3 and 2. We're playing to win. Not in the same suit. This is no suits involved here. No, you can't have 3 of a suit. It's 3 aces, 3 kings, 3 jacks, 3 tens. Who wants to tell us, if you would, say out loud, what's the best full house you can have? 3 Excellent. Raise your hand high if you made that hand. All right, excellent. Okay. You've already learned something. Fantastic. All right, so just remember as we're playing tonight, you're here to win. You're here to play to win. Unless, and I want to make a caveat here, this is an important caveat. Sometimes you play not to lose, but it has to be your choice, not out of fear. And there's a very big difference. If you decide to play not to lose because you're afraid of losing something important to you and you can't take a risk at that moment, that's fine if you recognize that. But it has to be by choice, not out of fear. All right, there should be no fear in this room tonight. This is stake money, so you're here to play with. All right, so if you would take your cards, those are yours to keep. And now we're going to talk about personalities, which I'm sure is of interest to all of you. All right? Personalities. All right, so in poker, there are 4 types of personalities. All right, they are on a scale of passive-aggressive and tight and loose. Tight and loose, passive-aggressive. Okay, so a person who is very tight with their money, they don't play a lot, and they're very passive, they're afraid to lose. They're afraid to lose, and that probably translates into many areas of their life. They're a great person at the poker table to bluff. All right? Conversely, on the opposite end, you have a very aggressive, loose player who's in it for the adrenaline, they're in it for the rush, they're in it for the action. And that's a very difficult person to play against. We all know somebody like that right now. And that's a very difficult person to play against because they are not backing down, particularly if you're a female. And they are in it for the rush. So sometimes their methodology is very hard to figure out. All right, so we're going to talk and see what kind of players you are and then discuss what that means. So there's 10 questions. Everybody has a workbook and a pen. Just answer A, B, C, or D. Don't overthink it as to what you would do in real life. And then we're going to equate this to how you're going to play the game tonight. 21 and 22. Just don't overthink it. That's right. Poker personality. All right. 10 questions, A, B, C, or D, and count up the letter you have the most of. By a show of hands, how many people are mostly D as in David? D, D, D. Nobody? No Ds? D. Okay. I didn't expect a lot of Ds in this room because you're all seems to be a pretty assertive group. And the D at the poker table is the passive, non-aggressive player. They're the person that only plays when they have the best hand. In poker, the best hand is known as the nuts. You know who invented this game, right? So if they don't have the nuts, the best possible hand, they don't play. So if you're playing against a D who you can sense is fearful of losing, you're going to bluff them. Conversely, if the D starts betting, you're going to get out of the action unless you have a great hand. The D is not bluffing, all right? Now, on the opposite end, how many people are mostly A as an apple? Raise your hand high, admit it. Some people won't admit it. 1, 2, 3.
Is it a bad thing?
Okay, so the A at the poker table is the bully. So if you are playing and with somebody at your table who's an A, know who they are, guys. Because they're going to be throwing you down. They're going to be throwing you down. All right? Now let's talk about the bully for a second. Let's talk about the bully for a second. Let's think about people at work. Anybody been bullied at work? Somebody talking you over you in a meeting? Somebody taking your idea? Anybody sound familiar? Okay. So, how do you handle the bully at the conference table? All right? 2 things. One is you recognize it's a tactic. They're doing it intentionally. They may be so good at it doesn't seem like they're trying, but it is a tactic somebody is using on you. And second part of that is, do not let them throw you off your game or trash talk you. In poker, if you're playing with somebody and they're like, come on, they're sort of egging you on, fold, get out, I'm beating you, or come on, play with me. They're messing with your mind. Bullies do that, they mess with your mind. In poker, it's called trash talk, and if you let it get to you, it's called going on tilt. So if that happens to you, whether at the poker table or the conference table, you have to stay on your game, stay on your strategy. Don't let them knock you off your strategy. You're not going to win every time doing that, but you have a much better chance of winning and throwing the bully off. Now, I will tell you this. At the poker table, do not bluff the bully. Do not bluff the bully because they're not getting out of your way. Do not engage with them. Conversely, if you're getting really good cards, you want to play with the bully because they're going to still be in it for the action and the adrenaline rush. All right? So you see how you play a D differently than an A. In poker, the interesting thing is you play the same hand differently against different people based on their personality. Just like you're going to do business deals, the same deal with somebody differently based on what they want. Understanding people's motivations is critical in terms of how you play a hand or do a negotiation or do a business deal. Not everybody at the poker table is, believe it or not, is playing to win money. Some people are there to kill a few hours. Some people are there because they want company. And some people are there because they can't pay their electric bill. Seriously. So you need to know who you're playing with. And work, it's the same thing. Some people are motivated by money. Some people are motivated by status, responsibility, recognition. So you have to know your players. Now, how many people were mostly C as in Charlie? Raise your hand high. 1, 2. I was a C. I was a C for a long time when I was playing poker. And a C in poker is a call-in station. And what that means is we are loose with our money. We play a lot of hands, but we're never the aggressor. So whatever anybody else does, we follow. We're not leading. So what happens is we lose our chip stack little by little by little. I call it piddling away your chip stack. So it's an hour later, you've lost half your chips, and you've never had an opportunity to make a big move or win big because you're just playing a little here, a little there. It's like a multitasker. So the calling station, if you're coming up as a C, a calling station, you need to be the better. We always say in poker, you want to be the better, not the caller. You need to take the lead. And you'll see that tonight. The better is always at an advantage as opposed to the caller because you set the tone. Now, I guess the rest of you raise your hand higher, mostly B, as in boy. Okay. Well, the good news for all of you is that the B is the best poker player that there is. That is the missile. Right? So we must have some good poker players in here. So the missile is aggressive, but they're selective. So they're tight with their money, but they're aggressive with their play. If they have a really good hand, they play it very aggressively. Otherwise, they don't get involved. All right, so recognize where you came out and recognize who we're playing with. So tonight in the tournament, you'll adapt your play accordingly. All right, so now if you take your books off the table, they're yours to keep, your cards, just keep your blue cards and pens handy. And now we're going to learn how to play the game. Okay, and then we're going to start playing. No,